Just when you think the Shinigami had defeated the Stern Ritter, they begin to transform, in my review of Bleach, chapter 554. This is another one of those classic chapters of Bleach. When you read it, it just sort of rips right by, and there was basically just a lot of build-up this week. It wasn't an awful chapter by any stretch of the means, but I was kind of hoping there'd be a little bit more action, but I was excited because it featured one of my favorite Stern Ritter, Bambietta Basterbine. And the only reason I mostly like this character is because it's really fun to say her name. Bambietta Basterbine. She was featured quite a bit this week, and I love the fact that she's sort of just going off the handle, making everything explode in her path, because she's pissed. She wants to fight against someone. She wants to use her awesome Quincy abilities now that all the Bankai have been stolen. And I do love the scene where she finally is confronted by Komamura, and that's probably my favorite part of the chapter, and mostly because Komamura is just one of the more interesting characters in the series. He's very mysterious, and we know that over the course of time, he's been giving some interesting training. We know that a couple chapters ago, he met with that giant dog thing, and I can't wait to see what the results of his training are going to be. And what's really interesting about the fact is when he shows up, he's wearing his old mask. Well, it's not really old. It's actually like a new version of his old mask. And I'm not sure why he's wearing it. Perhaps there's a reason behind it, and I cannot wait to see what that is. But he's actually not the only one who's going to be fighting against Bambietta Basterbine. There's also going to be Shinji Hirako, who immediately starts using his Sakanade, and it's immediately starting to disorient Bambietta. But as you can see, it doesn't look like any of this is going to work. We even go back to the leader of the Quincy, and he's lamenting over the fact that, well, I pretty much expected that this was going to happen. I'm sure that they were going to be able to take their Bankai back. However, it doesn't matter. We still have our badass Quincy powers, and that's when everybody starts to go through a huge rapid transformation, and you can actually see they pan outwards, and you get to see all of their energy exploding into the sky. It definitely gives thoughts of Evangelion. At least that's what it reminds me of just seeing the giant crosses explode into the sky. But still, it looks like everybody's about to go through a cool transformation. You can even see that Bambietta has some different looking stuff on her face, but they don't show her full form yet. This is all just a really big tease because you know a lot of these characters are about to go through their full Volstandig transformations, and it's probably going to make them look really freaky and really awesome because we all remember how Karuji looked, and he was one freaky bastard. What I'm most interested to see is if Kangdu is actually going to be able to break out of the ice due to his Volstandig transformation. I don't know if the battle between him and Hitsugaya is going to be really over that quickly, because you can actually see he's sort of still alive within the ice. However, some of the other Stern Ritter have actually been really hurt. You can see BG9 has a huge chunk of his face taken out, which is definitely the most damage he's received so far in the series. But there's also the biggest development at the very end when all of the Quincy are going through their transformations. Suddenly, Orihara receives a call from Ichigo, and that's where the chapter ends. And it kind of sucks because we want to see Ichigo say something important or probably do something because he's the main character and we want to see him fight. And, you know, usually they tend to save him for the stuff later, but I'd love for Ichigo to get involved as soon as possible because I want to see more of his new abilities, and in particular his brand new swords. But otherwise, this was a setup chapter. It was not horrible setup. There was a little bit of comedy sprinkled in with Bambietta and her craziness. And just the fact that I love when she gets angry, she just starts making everything around her explode. But Komamura, I cannot wait to see what he's going to be capable of after his crazy training with the big shaggy dog. And hopefully his form might have changed slightly, and maybe they'll give us a little bit more explanation as what the hell he actually is. So even though this was a setup chapter, I did enjoy a lot of the aspects of it. I love Bambietta. I love Komamura. I loved seeing Shinji actually get to come in and do something for once. He hasn't really done anything in quite some time. And he's a really cool character, so I can't wait to see him go toe-to-toe with Bambietta and have to deal with her Volstandig. And I can't wait to see what all of those transformations are going to look like. So it wasn't a waste of a chapter, but it wasn't perfect either. So I'm going to drop a 7 out of 10 on this bad boy. If you are following the Bleach manga, make sure and check it out, as it has some somewhat interesting developments, some somewhat funny moments, and it's just great to see Komamura come back. And hopefully Ichigo will get to do something cool next week. So there it is, guys. Check it out. So did you guys get a chance to check out this week's chapter of Bleach? I'd love to know what you thought about it. What do you think is going to happen with Komamura, and do you think he has some other new crazy abilities? You can let me know what you think about that with your comments below. Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. So I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.